Okay, good afternoon everyone, thanks for joining. We operate today's press conference with a translation service. If you need translation, please use the function at the bottom of the screen and you can listen to this in Spanish or English. If you'd like to ask a question today, please use the wave hand function on Zoom and we'll get round to as many of you as we can. And we'll begin today's with John Southall.
Afternoon, Frank.
Hi, John.
How are you?
Good, thanks.
Just a quick start off with team news. Any injuries, or have you got a pretty much fully fit squad?
No, we're fully fit, ready to go.
Right. And how do you see this game? Is it a chance for you to give a few players who haven't had as many minutes a game?
Yeah, I'll have to do that for different reasons. I think some players have been playing a lot. Talk about the hectic schedule, and it is hectic, but can't say that on one hand and then maybe not look at making some rotations for this game. And on the other side of that, players that aren't playing so regularly are training really, really well and part of the group and important to us. So some people are just knocking on the door and deserve opportunities. So we're certainly not taking the game lightly, even though we're qualified. We want to win the group. I don't expect a drop in level, but there will be an opportunity for some players to get minutes.
Carve, Sky Sports News.
Frank, I just wanted to ask you about the news that John Terry is one of the favourites for the Derby County job. Obviously you know him well and you know Derby County well as well. Do you think he would be a good fit for the club?
Yeah, I think John is destined to be a manager. He's obviously working very well alongside Dean over the last few years at Aston Villa, so would have been learning a lot, but what John knows and his experiences in the game as a player will be huge. I know that from playing alongside him so long, what he has to offer. So I think it's a great opportunity potentially for him, if true, and for Derby. I've got a lot of affection for Derby for my time there. It was short, 1 year, but I know what a great club it is, what great fans they have, what a great feeling there is in the city for the club. And John will be a hungry, ambitious manager, whether it's Derby or whatever other opportunities come his way as he goes along. So I don't know anything, but John is going to be a fantastic coach in my opinion.
Moose, talk sport.
Hi Frank, I know you said you want to win the group, but how hard is it to motivate players when you've already qualified and in a sense this is, to all intents and purposes, dead rubber?
Well, it certainly isn't a dead rubber, Moose. I know what you're saying, but we want to win the group for different reasons. Obviously, in your pathway through, it's not clear always that coming first is the beneficial position, but we generally want to do that. Also, in terms of motivation, when I'm talking about players that might play that haven't played so many minutes, their motivation is to try and show why they should be in the starting 11. I have difficult choices, and it's an opportunity for players to give me more difficult choices going forward. And as a collective, we're on a good run. We haven't, lost since Liverpool, which was a difficult game for us for circumstances that happen in game. And my feelings in football are, my experiences are that if you are going well and you decide you want to switch the switch off even, sorry Moose, and flick it back on again, it doesn't work that way. So we have to remain consistent in our approach.
Nick Fuel.
Hi Frank, thanks for your time as always. Just on Billy Gilmour, is he ready for action yet? And whether he is or not, just in the wider context of him this season, where do you see him sort of fitting in this year? Because obviously I guess last year was a very early jump in for him, wasn't it? So does he need a bit more time, or will we see him again as things unfold?
No, he's fit now, Billy. He could probably do some more match minutes, which are hard to get in the COVID times. It's behind the scenes because of the way the bubbles are here at Cobham, but he's in the squad tomorrow. It would be nice if he can get some minutes over particularly these two Champions League games remaining in the group stage. And where do I see him? I see him hopefully coming back at the level he was at just before he got injured. He made a great impact. There'll be so much more to come from him generally at this club because of the talent that he has. He's got a great attitude, trains brilliantly. He's looking spot on, so he comes in just to compete in the squad with the other players in that midfield area.
Cristina Perez.
¿Qué tal? Muy buenas tardes, Cristina Pérez en directo.
Hello, Frank.
Hi. Oh.
I'd like to know what do you think about the Sevilla FC and its manager, Julian Lopetegui, which are their biggest virtues, and what are you expecting for tomorrow?
I think they're a fantastic team. We felt that when they played at Stamford Bridge. It was a difficult match for us. I think they have a great coach, a really great coach. I think it's very evident when you watch his team play that he is a top coach, and he's the style of the team, the work he must do behind the scenes. They have a lot of threats that remind me of Premier League teams in terms of their attributes, with the physicality, with the speed of their game, with their willingness to cross balls into the box and the energy in their team. So I expect a really tough match.
Matt Law, Daily Telegraph.
Hi, Frank. Can I ask you about Callum Hudson-Odoi? Does he come back into contention for this match? And also, was it difficult to tell him that he wouldn't be part of the squad at all for the Tottenham game after he'd scored against Rennes in the last Champions League game?
Yeah, it was difficult, Matt, and I've been really pleased with his training lately. I've spoken about Callum at different times since I've been in the job, and his training and attitude at the minute is bang on. Work ethic in training, that's reflected in scoring against Rennes and playing well. Coming on against Newcastle, I thought he was bright, going away with the 21s and doing well. So it was tough. I have tough decisions when we have a fully fit squad, as we pretty much do now, to leave players that work hard through the week and are desperate to play for the club, to leave them out. But I have to make that decision. So I did speak to him personally, because I want him to feel that. I want him to understand where he's at the minute, which is in a progression. He's getting better for me, and there will be times where other players will have to sit out, and that conversation will have to be with other players. So he's back in contention tomorrow, and I want to see more of the same and keep that progression going. And as I say, if there are times he's not starting or he's out of a squad, the main thing is I want him to stay positive, and that's, I suppose that's part of my job as well, to have that communication level.
Carlo Garcia. Carlo Garcia.
¿Qué tal, Frank? Muy buenos días.
Hello, Frank. I would like to know which do you think are the keys for tomorrow's match in order to beat Sevilla?
I think the key for us is, and this is Champions League games generally, but with a team of the qualities of Sevilla and the players they have, is our concentration and focus when we work without the ball, because they're very, very competent on the ball. They play very well and have good possession. So we have to improve on what we had, how we played at Stamford Bridge, where we weren't quite as good as we should be. But we just need to go there with confidence. We are playing well. We will respect them as a team. But the way we are playing, if we can keep the level of form, I expect us to be able to go there and really compete against that good side that they are.
Andy Dillon.
Hi Frank, can you hear me okay?
Hi Andy, gotcha.
Hiya. If I may just go back to the discussion about Callum there. Firstly, just following on from your comments, I just wondered, how did he take it when you had a chat with him to tell him that you were having to leave him out and explaining the situation? Obviously he's a young, hungry lad. And also, I know it's the kind of a calculated risk to take with every player that you have to leave out, but I just wondered, in his case particularly, you've had Bayern Munich have come out publicly to say, you know, they're keeping an eye on him. Is it a bigger risk than normal you're taking by leaving him out, and it's something you just have to accept?
I think, Andy, for all the players we're talking about, I'm talking about probably a squads I have to leave out 4 or 5 players maybe per game. If I went through all the permutations of all of them and how they may feel and the risk of it, I wouldn't make a decision and I wouldn't be able to do the job. So I'm aware with Callum where he's at, and he took it very well. It's not easy conversations. All players want to play. I expect that. And he'll get his opportunities, he'll get minutes tomorrow, and it's up to him then to keep showing when he plays that he deserves to start, because there's competition in that area. That's a reality of playing for Chelsea. So I'm not worried about the noise around it or the permutations of not being in the squad might mean down the line. I'm just worried about picking the right squads, and at the same time, if I feel like I'm taking someone out of the squad when they kind of deserve to be in it, I just have to be straight and honest with them on that point and try and work with them to keep them positive and working in the right direction. And hopefully with Callum we got that. His reaction to me saying it to him was great. His reaction since the game and training today has been great, and he can show when he plays.
Okay, last 2, Iker Castano, and then same bell to finish.
Buenos días, Frank. Iker Castano.
In your history as footballer as well as manager, you have always played in great stadiums, but tomorrow you are playing at the Fuente Tijuana. what does it mean for you to play in this stadium? Thank you so much.
I'm very proud to manage this club and proud that we're in the Champions League because it's the best competition in the world. And when you go to places like Seville, for me, a fantastic city. So unfortunately for us, we can't experience the city as we would be able to in normal times. But for me, that brings excitement, and then to play in a stadium with a club of such rich history and the feeling for football in the stadium against the top manager and top players is what I'm in this job for. It's one of the nice perks, if you can translate that, of the job, is managing this level of game at these type of stadiums.
Last question, Sammy Mockbell.
Hi, Frank.
Hi.
With regards to back to Callum again, just generally with regards to young players and the kind of peaks and the troughs that they have during the early part of their career, have you been able to maybe identify areas in your early part of your career where you can relate to what he's going through at the moment, and maybe had a conversation with Callum about that?
Yeah, I can relate to that because we all have steps on the ladder, and I think Callum's early career has been not strange, but he got into the team. There was a lot of talk around him, I know, the year before I came, and then he got a really, really bad injury, and I think for a big part of last season, the back end, and even this season, I think Callum made these quotes himself when he was on international duty. He was feeling the injury a little bit, and I think now time and work is showing him to be back, hopefully in recent form, to where we want to be. And then you realise that he's still a developing player, because when there's a lot of talk about a player, you kind of think that maybe they've been around longer than they have. He's still a very young man. So unfortunately for him, because it's not nice to tell someone they're not in the squad, but I have to see the bigger picture, and I know that Callum has hundreds of games hopefully in front of him and progression to make, and will have big impact because of the talent, as long as he has the hard work which he's shown at the minute. So in the short term he might not like it, I get that, but the other options are, I have to look around, who else do I take out the squad? Another day it will be somebody else. So those are part of my job. Those are, I said it before at the start of the season, I said it to the players, having the squad that we have, and most Premier League teams have big squads. If you look at Tottenham for instance at the weekend, Gareth Bale on the bench, Dele Alli not there, but it has to be a strength and not a weakness, and that's only the strength of the group when players are not playing as much. And at the moment I feel the group's really strong, and again that's why players will get minutes that they deserve tomorrow.